Okay, welcome to day 2 of perspective. So today we will be working on 2-point perspective. So last class we learned about 1 point, and this class we're going to talk about 2-point perspective. So make sure you have a nice sharpened pencil. Sharper the pencil, the better. So get that nice sharp pencil with your little an eraser you'll need, and your ruler. So the one thing that I like about 1-point perspective is that it doesn't take much to get started. So we're going to start by getting that horizon line to begin with. So draw a horizon line nice and straight across the middle of your page. And today we're going to add 2 points. So 2 different points of your vanishing point. So to start and to understand, I want you to put your points on the outside like this. Once you learn this one, then you can get funky and start to do different ones. All right, so when we did our drawings last time, we chose shapes, and we drew the front part of the shape. So I had you drawing for 1-point perspective. I had you drawing different shapes, right, over your 1-point perspective. For your 2-point perspective, all you're going to do is draw a straight line. So because in 2-point perspective, the point that where our eye is starting is on the edge of the object. So go ahead and draw 4 lines in different spots around your page. Because we'll do, again, for this practice, we're just going to do 4 different shapes. So to get started, I'm going to show you how to draw a box. So what I'm going to do first to start is at the top of my box, I'll go to my right side, the dot. So remember, light lines, lighten up Lasdin, sometimes I have to tell myself. And then on the bottom, go to the perspective line on the bottom. So the top of your line and the bottom of your line goes that way, and your other one goes this way to this side. Okay, if you're watching this video, you can pause and make sure you're caught up here, and then we'll move to the next spot. So the next step is to use your parallel lines on that line. So whatever line is on that you drew at the beginning, that should be parallel to the back of your box. So to the side of your box. So this is the front face of the box, and I'm going to get a cube. So I'm going to just guess about here looks good for my cube, and I'm going to draw a line. And then I'm going to go to the other side and draw a line on there, and just double check. That didn't really make that a cube. So I'm left-handed, so I might have to just do it this way. That's probably more of a cube, and draw like so. And you can also turn your paper. Don't feel like your paper's stuck in the one position. So if like you're left-handed or right-handed and you're like trying to draw a line and it's driving crazy, you can turn your paper around and draw it that way. So it's good to have some good space when you're working with perspective, to have a good working space that you can move around your ruler and that. All right, so you can see I have one side of my cube and the other, and now we're going to fill in what we're looking at, right? Because this is going to be worm's eye up top. We're going to be looking at the bottom of our box. So in order to see the bottom of your box, you are going to go from your side that you just drew. You're going to go to the opposite side, opposite point. So you already did it to this vanishing point. You're going to add that to this vanishing point, like so. And then so this side goes over to this vanishing point. So line up the bottom corner on that side to your vanishing point and draw a line. And you can see now I have myself a little box with the bottom, so you're seeing the bottom. Take my eraser and I can erase. I just totally moved through my pencil across the room, but all right, so you can erase, and then you can define your box that you now have, and you have yourself a 2-point perspective object. All right. So now we're going to go down to the bird's eye box, and we're going to make a box down here. So again, I'm going to draw my lines all the way out to here, and then my lines all the way to here. All right, and then my next step is, you might get confused here because you're like, now what do? I forget. Next step is to get those edges, so those lines, so from the edge of your box to the side of your box. So parallel line from here to here, parallel line from here to here. And then it's the opposite, remember? So if you get confused, you can go to that one and be like, I already drew that line. So then you're like, oh, right, the opposite. So draw your lines opposite. And you got yourself a nice box. So I'm going to do a quick triangle just so you can see what that might look like at the difference. And then I'm going to show you how to draw your windows and a roof line on your box. So let's start over here. And I'm going to do my lines moving that way, and then my lines moving this way. And you don't have to go all the way to that. I like to have you guys do that in the beginning, so you're just kind of grasping, but you can go to as far as you think you need to. Like, I don't need to go all the way back through that box. So if I wanted to do a triangle, I would just come in and draw myself my lines coming down like so, and then my other one would come down here. So you're looking down at that triangle. So the triangle is really like you're drawing a pyramid. So if you can see that. So the reason you might do something like this is because you wanted to create the illusion like there's a pyramid shaped building and there's a box shaped building or something like that, so that whatever you draw in this landscape would all be at the same perspective. So you're having the one eye point of view. If I did a triangle from this way, you would see the bottom of the triangle, which sometimes the triangles in the sky look a little better in 2-point, because you can draw the bottom. So that's where I would do my lines again. I would make my triangle shape, and then that's where I would see the bottom. So I would go to this side for the opposite and this side for the other way. And where those connect is the bottom of your triangle. So you can see if I make those a little darker now, you can see my triangle. Like that. Kind of got that edge a little wrong there. All right. I like to keep a lot of these lines, because then I can start to see like, oh, I might be able to put like, I could put like, this would be a dimensional spot here that I could put like a circle in here and a circle here, and it looks like it's receding to the background. So maybe I want to draw myself a cube like in that space, right? So you could actually use all of that three-dimensional lines that are already there to draw more organic like shapes. You know, you can use those as guides. All right, but we're going to go back to drawing a roof. Roofs are really fun. So to get started with your roof, you're going to go to the center of your of your one side, wherever you want to put the roof. So if I wanted to put on this side the peak, or this side, wherever you're going to put your peak. So I'm going to put my peak on this facing, and you're going to draw that line parallel to the same as the side. Very light line going all the way up. Because then you're going to take that where you went to where you want your peak to come down as a triangle. You're going to bring that down across your across your box. So matching those points here to that middle peak. That peak goes recedes to this vanishing point, and you can also get the bottom of your roof back to that vanishing point. And same with this one, you'll see the inside of that roof peak going back in. And then to stop your roof on the back, you're going to go parallel line to that very first line that you drew here, parallel to the back of your house. And you've got yourself a little roof, a nicely drawn roof in with 2-point perspective. So, all right. If I want to put some windows on, this is sometimes where it gets confusing for folks. So pay attention. I'm going to make my front of my house solid so I can get my doors and windows on there, and my roof. So I'm going to erase what that see-throughness that I had and get a nice solid house going with my drawing. So now I can go back over. You can use your ruler here or freehand, depending how good you are. If you shake a lot, like sometimes I get a little bit shaky, I might want my ruler back. But you can also just be like, whoops, I made a mistake. Let me make some grass. Right? Mistakes into masterpieces. Okay, let's put a window on this side of the house. So I'm going to go to this side is going to be playing with this point, and this side plays with that point. So going from this side, I'll draw the top of my 2 windows, and then I bring it down to draw the bottom of my 2 windows, hoping that I drew those lines pretty close. It looks like I did. And then the sides of my windows are going to be parallel to the edge that I started with. So bringing that, and then just bring your ruler right across. Try not to change that. And across. And across. And you can just look, does this parallel, 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 parallel? So those are my windows. If I want to put a little window seal in there, I'm going to go to my other point, right? Because I'm going to be seeing it from this side. So I can do that going back. These are going to be some deep window seals. Or I can go ahead and get another line coming from this perspective for that to come across. Not all the way. So then I can erase. If I can get in there with this eraser, I can't. I need a small eraser to erase this line here. But since I don't have that on hand, just to kind of color my windows dark inside there. So it's a dark window seal. Like that. All right. So then I can also put a window on this side. Maybe I'll put a long window going this way, and then parallel, 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 parallel. I've got myself a window on that side. I'm not going to do the door so that I don't take that time, but there's fun things that you can do, which is, you could sketch some real light lines for your roof, and then you could draw in some shingles so you can get real detailed with that. So you can see like this is a little bit wider than that, so it recedes back. So then when I go to I could put my parallel lines going this way if I wanted to. So parallel from here, and like the way shingles work is that it's like every other one or something. They don't line up straight. So like that. So you could do little lines going down. So then those look like, little shingles in there. You could also just guess make sure that you draw a parallel line too versus the ruler. So you could do shingles that way, but you could also come in here and make some fancy New Mexico shingles coming this way like that. So remember, smaller in the back, you get larger in the front. So Starting to kind of look like Hansel and Gretel's house. Maybe that's what I do, is I draw myself a piece of candy on the front of my house here. So I'm just going to put some guides for my circle to be in. So I'm going to have my little three-dimensional circle here, and it's a piece of, what's that little mint candy? Maybe I'll color that red and white. Erase my guides. What else could I put on my house? What other candy did Hansel and Gretel had? Maybe they had a ton of these candies. Can't remember. So I can have fun and design something fun and, that you're interested in. Like if you're a skateboarder, you could make skateboard ramps. What else is there? What else could I make? If I like things in space, I could make, something alien-like. I think somebody had made a satellite dish, right? So if I'm seeing the bottom of a satellite dish, I wouldn't see inside of it, right? The curve might be this way, and then my little satellite piece.
You get the point. So now it's your turn. What will you create? So create at least 4 different shapes, and don't forget to post in Google Classroom.